Zane Clodfelter with OttersTV, here with Evansville starter Brandyn Sittinger. And Brandyn, you've been with the Otters now for a couple of weeks, so how have you acclimated to the new scenes?
I mean, the guys made it pretty easy. It's pretty easy to come into an environment where the team's winning, where you're in the playoff hunt right away. So I mean, with Andy and with Max, with Bobby, I mean, they all made it pretty easy to come right in right away and just get acclimated with the team and feel like I've been with the team the entire time.
Yeah, your initial impressions of Bosse Field when you first showed up?
Oh, I mean, obviously even before talking to Evansville and talking to the staff, like, you've heard of Bosse Field, everybody's heard of Bosse Field. I mean, third oldest field in America. I mean, just the history, getting to play at a ballpark like this. How many people get to say they get to play here? I mean, you visit here and stuff like that, it's one thing, but to get to play here, that's unbelievable.
And you're from Ohio, so in the heart of MLB country. Who'd you like growing up as a kid?
Cleveland Indians, actually.
Okay, Cleveland Indians. Who's your favorite player?
My favorite player was Omar Vizquel.
Omar Vizquel.
Believe it or not, I was a shortstop back in the day, so that was
okay.
I was number 13. That was my big thing, was Omar Vizquel. So it was pretty cool. Because when I got drafted by Detroit, he was a coach at the time.
Okay.
So I finally, after all those years, finally got to meet him and stuff like that. So that was pretty surreal.
And you played collegiately at Ashland University.
Yeah.
So what did you learn about yourself as a baseball player playing in D2 baseball?
I mean, I learned a lot of things. I mean, obviously D1, you get a little more looks and stuff like that. You get a little more opportunity, but going D2, you learn how it's not all individual. Like, you're D1, like, sometimes it gets to the point where, like, you've always been the big guy, like, you've been the top kid around in your county or state. So, like, when you go D2, it becomes more of, like, a family. And I think that's kind of like when I came to here, is like it's more of like a family. Everybody's out for each other. Everybody wants each other to do well, and that's when, like, you get that camaraderie and stuff. So I think that going D2 and stuff like that made it a little easier to get that, like, click and that connection with other guys and players on the team.
You mentioned playing in the Tigers organization, so you have affiliated baseball experience. What did you learn about yourself playing in affiliated baseball with the Tigers?
I mean, you learn a lot. I don't know if you can really put it into words, but it's just one of those things where you go out there every day, and it's I don't want to say a grind because you're playing a game, but it's one of those things where you go out there every day, and every day is a new day. If you go out there and have a bad outing, you got to forget about it, because, I mean, here you still play 100 games, but there it's 140 games. So every time you have a bad outing, you know you're going to have another one. So it's one of those things that you learn a lot about yourself, about how much mental composure you can keep throughout that whole year. And that's one thing that you learn, is trying to keep that the entire time.
Everyone has a different backstory as to how they got to Evansville, whether it be straight from affiliated ball or maybe after a break. How did the process go for you coming here?
I mean, it was kind of quick. As soon as when I got released, it was, I mean, obviously one of those things that you never expect to hear. You never like, hey, this is it for you. Like, you may give a chance somewhere else. But I mean, it was kind of one of those things where right away I had a couple independent ball teams and leagues calling me, and Max was actually one of the first people to call me. And I knew right away, talking to him, I felt really comfortable hearing from him, the way he talked to me about how this is another chance to start over and become a starter and stuff like that. So I felt really comfortable with them, and it kind of was a quick turnaround. I mean, I was home for a week. Me and my fiance just got done. Well, my dad also helped, but just got done building our house, so I got to see that for a week. So it was kind of nice to be there for a little bit of time, but that whole week off felt like it was a month. So it was nice to get back really quick.
What's the best part of the new house?
Actually having my own house. Not paying it on apartments or anything and throwing it away. It's actually has my name on it, and it's mine.
Yeah, no,
so that's nice.
And since you arrived in Evansville, you've had quality start after quality start. So what has been a big part of your success here?
I think the biggest thing is just throwing strikes and going right at hitters. I mean, that's one thing. When I was a reliever with Detroit, I had a couple problems with, I'd have one or two good innings, and I'd kind of check out. And all of a sudden, he'd be like, all right, I think I'm done. And all of a sudden, I go back out there, and that's when I'd walk a guy, give up a hit, and then walk another, and next thing I'm out of it, and my runs end up scoring. But I think now it's more, I get the ball in my hand, and it's my game until I'm tired. So it's kind of nice to go out there right away and just go at guys, go right at them, just attack, throw as many strikes as I can. And, I mean, strikeouts are nice, but it's just go right at guys and let the defense make plays when they do it for you. I mean, our defense is pretty good for the most part, so, I mean, they're going to make the plays.
Are you a superstitious guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are a couple of superstitions that you have before you make a start?
Well, when I was in high school, my dad always, whenever I would out on the mound, he'd see me breathing really fast, so he gave me a pack of Juicy Fruit. Okay. So one thing I always do before starts, I always have a pack of Juicy Fruit. I go and buy a brand new pack for every start, and I have it in. So like when I'm out there, if I have a good inning, I'll keep that piece in, take a little bit off, then rip a little piece off the full piece and just eat it. So it's like you still have that good piece from the good inning.
Yeah.
But as soon as you have a bad inning, you rip it out, you throw it away and stuff like that. And then last night, I decided to wear new cleats in the first inning. I wore them last night. I was like, oh, I'll go get new cleats. And as soon as that first inning, went in the clubhouse, took them off, put the old ones on that I was doing good with, and I was like, well, those aren't getting worn anymore.
Yeah, hey.
So,
but still, it was only one run in that first inning, though, so it wasn't the end of the world. But how often do you pay attention to the standings, or is it something that you just try to take game by game when it comes to the playoff chase?
I think it's something like, obviously you see how close the race is, and so that's something you pay attention to, but it's nothing that you don't talk about it every day. It's you everybody upstairs knows how close it is, but it's another game. We have what, 13, 14 left, so it's just go out there every game, you try to win that game. You don't try to look ahead, it's like, oh, we play these guys, we play these guys again in a week. Like, you don't want to think about that. You don't want to think about who you might play in the playoffs. It's kind of just a day to day. Try to win that game, get some hits, score some runs, throw a couple shot innings, and hopefully you're one of those teams in those final 4 spots to get into the playoffs.
No, absolutely. And then obviously, I'm sure the goal for you is to get back to affiliated baseball. And before you got here, I mean, the Otters have had pitcher after pitcher signed to go back to affiliated baseball. So what are some things you're really trying to shore up on from your standpoint to get back there?
I think trying to establish myself as a starter again. Like when I was in college, I was a starter, and then when I went to Detroit, they made me I was set up, closer, long relief, and I never really got acclimated. I never really got comfortable. I don't know, just if I just didn't feel right. But I think getting a chance to start again is a really big thing. That's one thing that when I talked to Max was he said, hey, we have guys picked up left and right. Like, I think your guy has a chance. So I think with him telling me that and giving me the opportunity to start again, I think that's one thing. If I can just keep that and get back on the throwing 100 pitches every outing instead of 30 or 40, I think that's one thing that'll help me a little bit and make it a little more appealing to get a chance again.
Very cool, very cool. He's Brandyn Sittinger, and I'm Zane Clodfelter. This has been Otters TV.